Welcome back, guys, to From the Stands, the Cool Pick Show. We are excited to be back after a month-long hiatus during the month of August. Obviously, sports were back. The summer is unfortunately winding down, so we wanted to take a break and kind of enjoy it ourselves and let everyone enjoy the sports that are back after being gone for so long as well. And with that, we are excited to be back and to start the show up again with some more exciting content with, again, the guests that you guys are all used to with professional athletes, sports broadcasters, sports personalities, and more. So without further ado, we are going to start up the show again, starting this week with a special guest who's Brett McConnachie. Brett played some professional hockey with the University of Alabama, had a PTO with the San Jose Sharks, and even captained the Whitby Dunlops. Before we bring Brett into the show, though, we just want to give a quick shout out to, of course, our design team, Mad Creative and Matthew DeCastro, for their work on the design logos that you see for the shows through Instagram and Twitter. And then we also want to give a special shout out to Joshua Solti Photography for their video that you may have seen on Instagram and Twitter last week as a launch and a pre-hype for the show to be to kind of kickstart back into action. So without any further ado, let's get Brett on the show and let's begin talking some hockey with him. All right, Brett McConnachie, how's it going, man?
It's going good, Colby. How are you, bro?
Good, man. Thanks for taking time up at the cottage to be on the show. And yeah,
man. Hey, anytime, man. You know I'm always down to help you out, bro. I'm looking forward to it. We're just up here on the water, down here, a little north of the city, keeping things buzzing. But yeah, man, we can get her going whenever you're ready, bro.
Good, man. All right. So first question I have for you is, where did the passion for hockey start with you?
Oh, man. That's like going back to the prehistoric years. That's down to the nitty gritty. I think I started skating when I was 2 or 3. Basically, whenever I could walk was basically when I started. And you know, you get down in there and get things going, and it just becomes something that you know, it becomes an everyday thing, and it was just something that I've always done. So it was, I would say that passion was created down there somewhere in the 3 to 4 years old range, and it's been buzzing ever since.
Yeah, definitely. You began your career in Durham with the Ajax Pickering Raiders in 2000, and during that year, you ended up putting up 63 goals and 53 assists in 62 games. How much work and dedication went into making a name for yourself that year?
Yeah, man, that was a big year for me. That was the my OHL draft year back in 2000, and you know, it was a lot of hard work at that time. You know, you get to the point where it's you know, you're 16 years old. It's you're gonna go one or two ways. It's either you're gonna, you know, stay dedicated to that, or you're gonna kind of slip through the cracks and go the other way. So for me, fortunately, I was able to start there and have a good year, and I was able to create myself some opportunity, and then being drafted in the 4th round by the St. Mike's Majors in the OHL. Even though I was going NCAA no matter what, that still gave me some other options, and in which you know, you kind of have to sit down and really go through it all. But that was a really big year for me. Looking back, I think that's still a record for Ajax Pickering minor midget snipes. I think I had 60 something, but yeah, it was a big year, and that's kind of how everything really started to click for me. So it was a lot of hard work and dedication and some good coaching, and pretty good touch around the net too, bud.
And then you took that snipe show to Alabama when you decided to go there for 4 years, from 2003 to 2006 during your NCAA career. What was the mentality for you to put up the same work and dedication and wanting to get to that next level for you?
Well, that was definitely a interesting time for sure, especially going in as I went down there as a true freshman at 18. So a lot of guys that I was playing against were, you know, 24, 25, and I always wanted to go to school. That was something I always wanted to do, and to be able to go play, you know, Division I hockey south of the Mason-Dixie line down there, and be in the warmth all year. It was incredible. But yeah, it was a challenge. It was a culture shock for sure, moving that far away from home at a young age. But I was able to walk into a situation in which I was given an opportunity, to work my way up the lineup pretty quickly in my first year, and just had a great 4 years, and ended up getting my marketing degree, and yeah, down south, buddy. It was just an incredible experience, and that was kind of where I realized that, you know what, there could be something more here. I could, end up playing professionally, or I didn't really know at the time, but I was talking to some NHL teams in my last year, and a lot of stuff was going down. So it was, looking back now, it was a pretty big time, and it was a lot of fun down there, man. And when it gets right down to it, it's all about having fun, and it's all about giving yourself the best opportunity. So I'm glad I was able to live that.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to talk about those opportunities that you had, especially with the San Jose Sharks. But during your time with Alabama, you found yourself on the all-time list for goals, placing number 5th, and points, placing number 6. Along with that, you're second on the list for the longest consecutive games played streak with 132. How does it feel having your name on lists like that still to this day?
It's, you know what, it's kind of, it's incredible for one, but it's something that, unless you're doing something like we're doing right now, you don't ever really think about it. So to still be number 5 in goals, and 6th in points. The other thing that you mentioned, the Ironman streak, that was one that kind of got under my skin a little bit, because I hadn't missed a game my entire 4 years. I had, knock on wood, I had no injuries. I never got healthy scratch. So I played 132 straight games, and it was in my 4th year. Our last home weekend, we had 2 games down there, and I ended up getting in trouble. I was at a party a little late, a couple nights before a game, and ended up getting sat out by my coach, kind of sending a message, which ended up breaking my streak. And then I ended up playing the next night. So I sat out Friday and played Saturday. And if I had have, followed the rules and went back down to bed there when I was supposed to, I would have broke the streak, and I would have had 134, which would still be the record today. But yeah, no, it's cool when you look back, and you're still able to be a part of, a successful career, and to be still in the mix. Yeah, it's incredible. And there's been a lot going on with Alabama Huntsville, the hockey program, over the last couple months, with some, they were going to fold the program, and then, the booster and the alumni club, we were able to raise over $1 million US in 4 days, and they ended up keeping the program alive. So the last few months, it's been a lot going on down there in Alabama. So it's brought back some pretty special memories. And yeah, I'm just happy that I was able to leave a footprint there and keep my name down south buzzing, bud.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really cool to see like the legacy that you kind of leave behind you when you leave a NCAA rink. And just like, obviously records are meant to be broken, but it's cool to still have your name up on those lists. Now, after college, you signed a PTO with the San Jose Sharks. What was it like for you to play exhibition games with them and be part of training camp? And what was that whole experience, and what stood out for you the most playing pro sports?
You know what? I would say, especially in that situation, when I went down there to camp and everything, was just the level of talent that is there. I mean, you think that you're coming out of university as a goal scorer and a top ranked guy coming in, and you get to camp and you realize that there's 30 forwards there, that every single one of them are just as good, if not better than you. And they're all big. They're 6'2", 6'3", and they can all skate. And I mean, that was the biggest thing for me, was like thinking I'm going to be coming in there being a goal scorer. And it's like, holy crap, I'm going to have to start dumping the puck in and banging some bodies, because there's no way I'm beating some of these D-men off, just off skill alone. But I would say that was pretty spectacular, is just to see how good, and how consistent these guys are at that level. And yeah, and then that filtered all the way down through the minors, and playing exhibition games and getting sent down to the American League and then getting sent back down again to the ECHL from there. It's, it also shows you a lot about the grind down there and how hard it is to really make it and to really stick and to become an impact player. When you're getting paid to play, they say it's like 0.001% of hockey players that start playing as young kids ever have the opportunity to make money or make a living out of the game. So, it puts a lot of things into perspective that way, but it was just a great experience for sure.
Yeah, especially when you get to be able to see, like you said, the grind and the hard work that goes into all sorts of levels with making it all the way up. Now, being a Whitby native, in 2012, you started your career with the Whitby Dunlops of the Allen Cup Hockey League. What was the desire for wanting to play hockey in front of a home crowd in Durham and build a name for yourself with the Dunlops?
Well, to be honest with you, the one of the biggest regrets that I do have about my time with Whitby was that I didn't play earlier. I was home not playing hockey, like professional hockey, for 2 full seasons, and I was living in Ajax at the time, and I just I knew about the team, I knew about some of the guys that played, but I just wasn't at that time. I wasn't really interested in playing. But to look back, I guess that would have been 2 full more years that I could have played, and another 2 years where I could have networked and met some of the guys that I'd become so close with over the years. But yeah, like it was just one of those things where I ended up. I think it was the 2012 or sorry 2010 or 11. They were Whitby was at home against Dundas. They had a game 7. I think the winner went to the Allen Cup or something, and I went to the game just as like a spectator, and I knew a bunch of the guys, and I went and watched, and there was like 1,200 people down there at Iroquois Pad 1, and to be down there and see just like how good the hockey was for one, and that they actually had a following, and I was like, wow, I really wanted to be out there to help that team at that time. But that was kind of the turning point for me after I had a couple of years off the game and but being able to see that there's still a level that I could play that is competitive and where you're playing against guys that are the same caliber as you and have, played professionally and whatnot. So yeah, it was pretty much that game. I think they ended up losing in overtime, if I remember correctly. But I just remember watching that game as a fan and being like, wow, I think I can help this team. And then the next year I ended up playing. So that's kind of how it all started for me.
Great.
For me?
Yeah, you broke up for a quick second, but then it came back.
Sorry. Yeah, I just said that was, watching that game when they lost in game 7 when I wasn't playing. That was basically what sparked it for me and made me want to be a part of the Whitby Dunlop legacy. And like I said, I just wish that I could have done it 2 years before. I would have had 2 more years under my belt. But yeah, that's basically how it all started, man. So it was it was quite the experience.
Now, in 2016, 2017, during that season, you were actually named the captain of the Dunlops and have been in that role ever since. What was that feeling like for you to be able to lead a squad out to the ice every night and hopefully eventually end up to an Allen Cup?
It was cool. It was really cool. To be honest with you, down there coming in down to the season of the year that I believe I was named captain. I think it might have been my 4th or 5th year. It was really cool. I just had never really ever thought about it before in terms of potentially being that candidate because, we always had older guys and Pete McKellar and Shane Terry's had been guys that have been around for so long that I just kind of assumed that they're still wrapping things up, and I got named the captain. It was good. It was a good feeling, man. It was an honor for one. I mean, it's a legendary franchise. We all know that, and to be chosen to be, the guy that leads the team on and off the ice, it was a cool feeling and something that I honor and that I cherished. And yeah, looking back, I mean, it's one of the highlights of my career, just for the fact that I was looked at in that light as being a leader and someone that guys looked up to and respected. So it was important to me in a lot of ways, for sure.
Now, talking about mentorship off the ice for a minute, a lot of individuals that have mentors that help push them and succeed them, whether it's in sport or whether it's in life. Who was that person for you that was the biggest motivator?
I would say my parents. My parents were wicked when I was growing up. I was fortunate enough to be able to, have parents that were in a position that they could afford for me to play high level sports and rep sports. It's people really underestimate how much money that costs and how much time and dedication that goes into it, being a parent that has a kid playing at that level. So I was always kind of fortunate enough to be given that opportunity, and I always looked up to the way that they handled themselves, at home and work and their relationship. So, I learned a lot down there, and at home, who would be a role model, so to speak. When it comes right down to it, it would definitely be my parents for sure.
Now, out of all the games that you played, you can either look back at NCAA, your time doing those exhibition games with San Jose, or with the Dunlops. Which was who were some of the toughest guys that you had to go up against on the ice?
Like just in terms of like scary tough, like break your nose tough, or like just like good players that were hard to play against.
Let's go both.
Okay, so I would say in terms of players that were tough to play against, for guys that come to mind right away, Shea Weber. I remember seeing him in an exhibition game. I don't even know what he was doing playing in an exhibition game, but he was, big, strong, mean, physical, fast, heavy shot, just a mean stick on him too. Like he just couldn't, he had the puck stick handling anywhere around him. He had such a good stick. That's one guy that comes to mind. When I think of NCAA, I think of either Eric or Jack Johnson. One played at Michigan, one played at Minnesota, and they were both really good D-men. I think Eric Johnson was a number 1 overall pick, and Jack Johnson might have been 2 or 3. And those guys were just really, 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 really good, and were younger than me too. So I was like in my 3rd or 4th year, and they were freshmen. And I remember playing them, Michigan one weekend and Minnesota the next, and going up against them because I think I was on the top line, so we would see their top pairing. And Jack Johnson and Eric Johnson were sick, really, really good. When I think of Allen Cup hockey, the name Joel Prippick comes to mind. Just a big body, very physical, really good with the puck. Sean Blanchard from Stony Creek or Brantford. He was always in Tuzolino too. Just big bodies that are great, tough guys to play against. And then in here, I remember seeing the Boogeyman, Derek Bugard. Like those guys are just a different level of like shit your pants when these guys are out there. Like they're just scary men, and they're mean. So like those are 2 guys that I remember looking at and being like, oh my God, I really hope he's not lining up beside me. So so I would say that Chris Simon, Derek Bugard, and you know what? Another name too is Derek Johnson. Played for the Islanders a couple games. He played at Alaska. Lefty. He ended up I think he knocked out John Scott in his first NHL game. I remember he had sales against him, and he was a pretty tough cookie, and still plays in the NHL today. So those would be guys that just come off the come to my mind when we're talking about something down in and around that area.
Nice, man. Yeah, it's always interesting who you get to face up against. No matter where you are in your hockey career, because hockey's such a small knit community as well that you're going to see them one day or another. Well, now out of all the games that you've played and everything, and for all of those that may be watching that may want to get into sport or get into hockey, What kind of advice would you want to give to those watching that may want to start their careers off?
Well, I would tell them right away to, grab a pen and start jotting down some simple things that, when it comes down to it, is you're gonna meet a lot of really good people, and I don't care what the media portrays things now, and the way that there's been a lot of negativity in the hockey world that's come out over the last couple of years, and you know what, you just and in anything in life, there's gonna be bad things, there's gonna be negativity, there's gonna be things drawn from it, and they're gonna be portrayed a certain way. But you're gonna meet really good people. You're gonna meet down to earth guys, salt of the earth guys that you're gonna meet a lot of people. Whether you make it to the highest level or not, you're gonna create bonds and have guys that you can always lean down on. And there's a lot of really good people, whether it's coaches, parents, players that you meet. And a lot of my closest friends to this day are guys that I've met, playing hockey. And that's what it comes down to, is just the brotherhood and the camaraderie. And when you're not playing, that's something that a lot of guys will always tell you that they miss the most, is just being around the guys, and just the hockey guys are good guys, man. They're fun. They like to party. They're there for you. If you're ever in trouble, they do anything for you. If you're in a situation where, someone needed to help you out and needed to go to battle alongside of you, you always have someone that's down. There's not many people out there that are built the way that hockey people are. And it's just, anyone that would be watching this that is unsure of, if they want to play that, or if they're trying to write down what they want to do, hockey, it's just, you're going to meet great people. And that's what it comes down to. So that's what I would recommend to all the young ones writing this down right now, would be write it down. I'm telling you, write it down. Great people. And that's what it comes down to.
Great, man. Well, words of wisdom from the great Brett McConnachie. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what, buddy? Keep doing your thing, man. I'm happy to see you're doing well. You've had some great guests on the show, and I enjoy watching. I'm a fan, buddy. So I appreciate you asking me to do the interview. And if you ever need me to come back and check in on you, just let me know, brother.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bro.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. That was Brett McConnachie from the Whitby Dunlops / pro hockey player, all-around guy, and a great guy at that. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of From the Stands, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care.